started. My name is Doug Dean, and I'm the owner and managing partner at Schaefertz and Dean. Um, Once a month, we sponsor the Business Builder Speaker Series, the third Wednesday each month at 1 o'clock. This was an idea born out of the COVID days when we couldn't get together in person. We said, let's get together virtually once a month. We'll bring on a knowledgeable speaker on a topic that's important and informative to our audience. And we've been coming up on 4 years now that we've run our Business Builder Speaker Series, third Wednesday each month at 1 o'clock. We encourage you to stay connected with us. We're on all of the socials, and we will follow us, and we will, follow us, and we will follow you as well. In case you miss it, we record each of our Business Builder Speaker series. We polish up the presentation, add credits and some music, and post it to our YouTube channel. And then we link to the YouTube channel from the Resources tab on our website. And this is just a list of this year's speakers to date. And go ahead and mark your calendar for next third Wednesday of the month, October 16th at 1 p.m. Next month, we'll have Dana Sparks, broker with Maximum One Greater Atlanta, speaking on the wild world of agent compensation and navigating the recent changes to compensation in the real estate agent industry, based on all of the changes that have happened this year. And that'll be next month, Wednesday, October 16th at 1 o'clock. We thank you for taking your time out to join us. We encourage you to participate using the chat box, asking questions, and we appreciate you joining us and giving us your time today. I'd like to introduce Krisztina Bell, home staging expert with No Vacancy Home Staging to market and sell vacant property listings. Krisztina, thanks for joining us, and I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Okay, let me adjust my screen here. Share screen. Okay. Thank you all for having me today. I appreciate it. Again, I'm Krisztina Bell with No Vacancy Home Staging. My husband and I have been running the business since 2005. So we are professional home stagers, basically going on 20 years next year. We will be celebrating. We're very excited. We specialize in the staging of vacant homes. And I do a lot of home staging CE classes. I also teach paint CE classes, and I do monthly webinars on hot topics. And so I've always have lots of events happening. I put my information in the chat box there at Krisztina Bell, because I now have Instagram is where everybody knows me on. Facebook page we have as well. And then also I too have kind of cleaned up and created my YouTube channel as well, and started to record all the webinars that I've been doing, because everybody's been asking me for links to those. And so now they are officially up on my YouTube channel, which is also at Krisztina Bell. It's a unique spelling there. My mother is Hungarian background. And so I kind of have a little bit of European spelling of Krisztina in there. So today I do want to talk about the benefits of home staging. We're also going to talk a little bit about paint colors, because everybody is, at least those in the design industry, and even those, maybe the builders, maybe some flippers, are also wondering what paint colors of the year are going to be coming out with in 2025. There's a lot of people anxiously waiting. Particularly Sherwin-Williams, Benjamin Moore are the two popular ones that everybody uses here in Atlanta. We're going to kind of talk a little bit about design trends as well, because I do write articles for the National Association of Realtors. And my next article will be about the 2025 design trends that we're seeing. I think everything we're seeing now is going to carry over probably into 2025 and just go even a step further. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. I could be here for 3 hours talking about home staging, but I just give you a little taste of kind of what we actually talk about in my home staging and my paint CE class. But if everybody wants to pick up their phone, they can, or if they're on their laptop. And I always take everybody to my website because it's a very informational tool for you all, novacancy-atl.com. And when you pull it up on your phone, believe it or not, it has some buttons there. Some instant quote tool, an under contract notice, and our own home staging app, which we keep updated as well when people can't remember our website to go to, or they're trying to look for paint colors. I always take people to my website. I'm not promoting me, I'm promoting the value of home staging. I'm friends with all the stagers in Atlanta. We all refer business back and forth to each other. So if I can't stage through a property, if I can't help you, I have other stagers who can. And we all kind of work together. I kind of been very much into collaboration marketing. I don't look at my other stagers here in Atlanta. They're all my colleagues and my co-opetition, not my competition. I like to say, and I enjoy that because again, we don't provide all the services. There's many different types of staging services that are available out there. And we'll tap on a few today, but I take everybody here because under our home staging tab, and also on your cell phone, you can pull this up as well, is lots of valuable information here that you can actually copy or paste or print out. This is not secret information at all. I am willing to share all this, and I do. Even in my classes, we have lots of handouts affiliated with all these topics based on staging, because I want you to come here when you're like, oh my gosh, what paint color should I recommend? I don't know any benefits or what I could talk about. I don't have any statistics. What I'm finding is that most of the brokerage firms out there don't have all this information right at your fingertips. It might be difficult to find, or just not part of the marketing presentation, or just not really enough information to convince that seller that no matter what, some form of home staging is vital when it comes to selling a home faster and for a top dollar, even in today's market. Especially right now, everything's sitting a little bit. How's your listing look online? How are those photos looking? Does it need a refresh? How about pricing? It's not just staging is going to make it all sell so fast instantly. It takes all the moving parts. It's the price, it's your marketing, it's your photos, all the different vendors that you use, staging vendors, pressure washing, photography vendor, all handyman, all of the above. They all need to work together as a team. And so we and my team of stagers, designers, and movers, and all my staging friends, we like to work together as part of your marketing team. And you should have at least 2 to 3 staging vendors on your vendor list. If you're a new agent, then start developing that vendor list. That vendor list is crucial because those are the people that you're counting on to get that home in its most marketable condition to sell. We're not decorating the home. Let's just make sure everybody agrees. We're not decorating. That's bringing personality into the home. We're actually staging the home. We're creating a more neutral backdrop, but also trying to appeal to the broadest range of potential buyers. Now, there's different styles of homes out there. Yes. So some of the stagers have different style furnishings. We all kind of have a different approach and a different look. And so that's why I say that it's always good to have 2 or 3 staging vendors, maybe a vendor for your high-end homes, a vendor for your low budget homes, or maybe one vendor who's just can do quick turn, or maybe just does staging consultations. So there's lots of different services that are out there. Here under the home staging tab, you can get a quote. There's frequently asked questions. We're going to talk about the benefits of home staging here and preparing a home to sell. I've got some tips there for you. And then here are the paint colors we'll go over. Also have some seasonal staging tips. I just changed it out on our app. We're now going into fall. In a couple days, we'll have the first day of fall arriving. And so we definitely want to change things up a little bit for the season. And then also there's some home staging statistics here for you as well. So I see that there's some of you here already. If you guys want to put in the chat box, I see Anthony, Gary, and Niraj, where you guys kind of focus on what your areas are. Have you all used some form of home staging by chance? If you could let me know in the chat box there. I like to do a little bit of interactive. Some other things that you might want to look for when you are considering staging for your properties is, are they a member of a staging organization, the stager vendors that you're working with? There's the Real Estate Staging Association. There's also the International Association of Home Staging Professionals as well. For us, again, I like to be a part and give back in the community and all. So we are part of the DeKalb Association of Realtors. I also teach about home staging to designers through Emory University. I guess I'm a continuing education instructor, which is kind of fun. And then also we believe again in, the community and all. I've been blessed to have so many agents and just Atlanta and all the business owners I've met over the years support me along the way. And here we are 20 years later, running almost close, well, actually 7-figure business for a woman owner. So go me. But at the same time, because of that, I wanted to give back to the community. And so we actually go in and decorate homes for families coming out of homeless shelter. And we do that through an organization that we are partnered with called Furnish with Love. And they are based in Decatur, Georgia. And believe it or not, in the next couple of weeks, we'll be helping a mom and her child and doing kind of a makeover inside their condo and giving them all brand new bedding and furnishings and everything they need to make their home more cozy, as she just came out of homelessness about a year ago and just got custody of her son recently. And so we're trying to make it a really great it's like a little mini HGTV show. We go in at 9 o'clock, we're done at 4 o'clock, and it's a complete makeover and it's a lot of fun. And all my classes and some of the events that I do, monies from those classes and ticket sales that I do all year long raise about close to $3,500 to $4,000. And so that always helps us to do another home. And so we do one project a year. Staging offered, even moving around what they already own, taking us up. Hello, never used staging before. Yes. So some people haven't, they never had the need to it. I totally get that. Staging consultations, that's basically focusing on occupied homes. Yes. So sometimes that runs around $250 on up. They obviously a stager designer will come into an occupied home, maybe help with the rearranging of furnishings, remove furnishings, help with decluttering. Things of that nature, and they just charge up to 2 hours of their time, and then they might charge each additional hour thereafter. And that basically would entail, do you need them to come back and help you put the rooms together, maybe go purchase a couple things. And so there are staging consultations. That's not our big focus with our company, but there are actual stagers in Atlanta that do all full time. That's all they do is staging consultations all day long. I do have some of my stagers that do provide that service as well. As far as, those that haven't used staging before, you should be using some form of staging, especially if you're doing listings. If you're more on the buy side, I get it. But it's kind of nice to see you take buyers out to beautifully staged homes. That's usually what attracts their attention and drives the buyer traffic. And so if you have vacant properties or occupied and you're starting to do listings, you're always going to need some form of staging of that, cleaning it up, pressure washing, all that almost is considered in your checklist of staging items. Getting that home once again in its most marketable condition to sell. And so now those of you that may not have used staging or yes, kind of use it, let's just kind of review and make sure that we understand the benefits of staging. I always kind of want to reiterate these because sometimes people forget. It's easy to stick out the sign in the yard and, oh, yep, it's just going to sell. Not always the case. When the market gets more challenging, when more competition comes on the market, say in the spring, that's what happens. Now, right now, everybody's like, there's a little bit of chaos going on. What's happening right now? All the agents are asking me, what's going on? Well, in a nutshell, and I'm sure that the law firm and mortgage companies can all say the same thing. We have many things happening. You have normalization taking place. We do have an election coming up, which doesn't really affect too much, but people get a little nervous. They're watching their pennies right now, of course. We had some commission changes happen here in Georgia. And so there's a lot of different things happening all at one time. Now, kids went back to school in August. When I say normalization, this was the first year probably a lot of people took vacation. July was like, where did everybody go? Atlanta looked like, it was empty for a while. And then August was kids going back in school. August is always that quirky month. And then it definitely at the end of the month, the activity level will pick back up. So activity level, yes, is picking up, but you've got to put on your marketing glasses and really start to look at your pricing. Is it priced correctly? Is it showable? How do my photos look right now? Because it's very crucial time. People are getting a little frustrated. Why aren't things moving? Well, they're watching the interest rates. People are watching them. Are they going to go up, go down, stay where they are? So there's a little bit of that going on as well. Don't let all that kind of spook you and spook the buyers and sellers. The one thing that I always do when working with our clients, being mostly real estate agents, builders, and owners, is keep moving forward. Think positive. We got to keep moving forward. Don't let these little things hold you up. You need to keep moving forward because either you need to sell that home because maybe you bought another home and you don't want to pay 2 mortgages, or you have a buyer who's got the money, they're just not sure. But when they see a good deal, you want them to buy that house as long as it meets all the inspection, of course. So, again, the staging of the home is going to be even more crucial right now. It's still a good time to sell, even though we're heading kind of close into the holidays. Believe it or not, I still stage homes over Christmas, New Year, and we float the people through. And sometimes they get that price, or they get it under contract right before Christmas, or they get it under contract beginning of the year. We are so lucky, you don't seem to understand, is that we live in a top 5, top 10 city that people move to every day. From New York, from California, we have the entertainment industry here. There's so much in big corporations here. So staging is crucial and you can still have the opportunity to sell. You just really got to be smart about your marketing. Always be marketing and be creative. So staging the home is going to help the buyers see and envision themselves living in the home. They don't need to use their imagination. They're going to see beautiful furnishings in the rooms. It's not going to be difficult for them to envision how to lay out the space because they're going to see beautiful furnishings and decor and rugs and artwork. Number 2, sometimes it's impossible to figure out the purpose of a particular space. If there's a room or area that's even remotely odd shaped or size in a usual manner, the buyers will be confused. Buyers are going to focus on the imperfections. I was listening to a podcast or webinar yesterday with Egypt Sherrod was on there and some other big name real estate agents through apartment therapy. And that's what they were talking about is the fact that, it's very important to do staging because you don't want buyers to focus on imperfections. Older the houses, more outdated the fixtures. Empty houses will feel cold and bleak. Also, first impressions count. It's not just at the curb anymore. It's actually that web appeal is almost the first impression now these days. Are you posting those photos on your Instagram and Facebook pages as well? Believe it or not, you can get lots of traction if you had video taken, or you can take a bunch of photos, make a little short video on Instagram. You'd be surprised how many people are looking for houses and they shop around even on Instagram too. We've had some really good success with agents that have done videos of homes that we've staged and had thousands of views. Empty rooms also will appear smaller. Believe it or not, people are like, no, my house is empty. It looks much better without furniture. Well, yeah, the rooms are actually going to look smaller, not larger. When you put furnishings in a room, it actually will give the appearance of a larger space. You want those buyers to create that emotional connection when they first walk into the house, just like when you like to go and look at model homes. It's the same thing. Also, the interior exterior appearance of a home can actually play a very important role in deciding its value. So believe it or not, there's some instances where the agent may want to have a staging company come in to stage the property to give them a higher appraisal value on the home. And I know that that is true, and appraisers will love that because I was on a panel and sitting next to me was an appraiser. And he's like, I like stagers when they do this. I like when they paint, and I like when they make the house look almost move-in ready. That to me, it definitely makes me go, okay, they've really put some time and money into this home, so I'm going to give it a higher appraisal value. He claims it works for him. So that was interesting to hear that it does make a difference. Improving the landscaping, removing the clutter, painting, even inside, a fresh coat of paint on the walls. A lot of people are painting their houses outside. When I teach my paint CE class, we go really into what paint colors are good for exterior spaces. Not everybody has to paint their house, but in some instances, it might make a difference. The other thing too, of course, is the photos. It's all about the photos. I hope that you all have a really good photographer that you love that takes amazing photos, but maybe also does video, maybe even does drone for your higher end luxury homes too. All that everybody wants it. They want to see the inside of the house. They want to see the outside of the house. They want to see even the dog park or the belt line and what's around the home, because I think that also the percentage of home buyers coming into Atlanta, or just the percentage of home buyers in general, are buying sometimes home sight unseen, or they're not able to come and look at the home in person. So those videos, those photos of even more of outside the home, the community where it's near, restaurants and things like that, is becoming more important. So it's almost like a story. And on FMLS, on the first multiple listing service, I think you have an opportunity to post up to 200 photos. That seems like a lot. But for those bigger high-end luxury homes, I've seen 80 to 100 photos of a high-end home. But, you know, for smaller houses or maybe houses in unique parts of town, take advantage of that because you're telling a story. Don't focus maybe on one target market, especially with condos. People think, oh, it's going to be a young buyer. When no. Sometimes international buyers, people who travel a lot, don't narrow your target market too much. Keep it pretty broad. Staging a home, again, is to appeal to the broadest range of potential buyers. So you never know who might need a place. And so you want your listing to appeal to those buyers online. And of course, more attractive photos are going to drive that buyer attract. That's what makes the phone ring. Knocking out the competition as well and get it sold faster. Now, the great thing is that we're heading into the holidays. Okay, maybe Mr. Seller's like, no, maybe we should just take it off the market in November, December, and just wait till the spring. Well, guess what? Everybody else is probably going to do that too. Believe it or not, more houses go off the market as you get closer to the end of the year. Oh, guess what? That's less competition. Somebody will need to move into a home before the beginning of a year. People start new jobs around the September. Sometimes they start a new job at the beginning of the year. So sometimes you can take advantage of those times when there might be less inventory on the market. Still not a lot of inventory like we normally have, but we are feeling some normalization happening. So just keep that in mind. Which might be spooking some people a little bit. Like I said, everybody's kind of watching their money pennies. It's just a thing that's very typical of an election year. And I can say that because my husband and I, we analyze a lot, and 20 years later, we've been through the good, the bad, because this is what the market does. We wish it was like this. That would be nice. But unfortunately, real estate, it can go up, down. You just never know. You have to kind of follow it and just be smart about the moves that you make. Even if you have to go to the buy side or the sell side or switch things up a little bit, and then maybe go back to what you used to do. We do a lot of that every day as well here. We can adjust. For example, in November, December, when it does get a little quiet. I sometimes even offer 2 free weeks of staging, or maybe a month of free of staging, to ride our clients through that holiday when it might be slow. And they're like, I don't feel like I'm getting my money's worth when nobody's coming to look at the property. Well, Mr. Seller, how about we throw in 2 free weeks or a month free, and we'll ride you through that time frame so that you're still looking beautifully staged at the beginning of the year when everybody else is going to be scrambling. And of course, February, March, depending upon how early our spring season starts here in Atlanta. So lots of ways where we could be creative and try to help you out. And that's what you want, again, is a staging company that is on your team and working with you, trying to make either the staging happen. And the other thing, I think, and I'm surprised nobody's asked the question yet, is who pays for the staging? And so basically, I will say the seller should be technically paying for the staging, but in this market, and agents very competitive, some of them do offer to pay for the staging, pay for half of it, maybe all of it. Or they'll pay for the staging up front and then figure out a way to get reimbursed at closing, banking on the fact that they are going to sell that property. So that's kind of like an investment there. Depends on your client. Is this a repeat client? Is this a future client? Are you friends with this client, to make that investment? Or you for sure have sold a lot in the community, this house is going to sell. So those are things to kind of study and think on. And I'm always happy to talk to real estate agents and kind of walk through. I can go on FMLS. I've had my real estate license as well since 2003. I have it hanging with HomeSmart. I don't practice, but I do keep it active. I do go to the Code of Ethics class, and I take all my courses and stay up to date with what's happening. But I can also talk with you and walk through, look at photos online, and maybe even help you figure out a marketing plan. And if there's any way that staging could be involved in that, let me know. And if not, not a big deal. We can work on maybe another project that might be future wise. Again, it's all, for me, and how we work and my team is really about teamwork. How can we help make you get that home again, ready to go, and move in ready, and make it an easier process for you. And that being said, if you pulled up No Vacancy -ATL on your phones, you saw that yellow button in the top. There's also a yellow button here when you go on our website. It's usually somewhere in the middle or at the top. There's 2 places here, and it's an instant quote tool. And the reason why I want to show you this is, even if you don't use this for staging, you're just wanting to get a ballpark figure. You're on your way to a listing presentation and you don't have time to call me, or you just are like, I need to get some sort of number and have it in my email and make it part of your presentation or to present to your client, because you're going to your listing presentation and you've got your agreement with you and everything, and you're hoping they're going to sign with you. So we created this tool 4 or 5 minutes ago. We're probably the only staging company in the nation that has such a quote tool. And people are very curious about it. And we have lots of people who use it literally 24/7. If you're up at 2 o'clock in the morning working, because I've seen agents that are up at 3 o'clock in the morning getting a quote, I get a copy of all the quotes that come in. You enter in your name and information there, your phone number, your email address. But here, if you notice, you can also add an additional email address, and that should be your seller or client's email address right there. So that, guess what? They're also going to have a copy of that quote in their inbox instantly. You literally get a quote in your email within 15 seconds or less. And here's the thing. There is a link to a staging contract at the bottom of that quote. So you can almost get them to sign at the same time they're signing your listing agreement if they like the quote that they got. You're letting me know if it's a condo, a townhome. You're going to put in the address, the zip code. It's going to calculate the distance for us. And when do you need it staged? We're already going to focus on those main areas. Again, staging is focusing on living, dining, kitchen, master bedroom, 2 bathrooms. Standard package we offer for lower priced homes, premium package for higher priced homes. Let me know if there's any additional rooms. And truck, is it easy? Is it a condo? That type of thing. Would you like to meet with one of our stagers? And you click submit, And like I said, you get it within 15 seconds or less. So it's a lot of fun. And it's great to give you an idea of what the staging may cost at that point. Any questions going on? How about when people ask for virtual staging? Well, you're actually talking to the pioneer of virtual staging. My husband and I created virtual staging back in 2008 when the economy basically was going downhill. 9, 10, and 11, we were probably doing more virtual staging than actual staging because everybody, again, had no money to spend. Virtual staging for us right now, I don't like to, we never really promoted virtual staging here in Atlanta. We promoted it nationwide over the last 12 years or so. And so we basically still do virtual staging today, not as much as we used to, but I like to combine the two services together. And so sometimes it helps if you have exterior spaces, or maybe it's a luxury home with a basement, media room, or exercise room, yoga room. Those kind of flex spaces that you don't really rent at stage furniture with, be too expensive to do, or you're on a budget. And so sometimes I suggest combining the two services. We'll stage the main rooms. Let's maybe virtual stage some guest bedroom and other flex spaces in the home. And then that gives you more photos to post on your listings. Virtual staging right now you can do on your own. You've got AI now, Chat, GPT, AI. There's many advances that have taken place technology-wise. Some of the virtual stagers like us, hence now that everybody can kind of do it on their own, the demand is not there so much order-wise, but we still do virtual staging, like I said, nationwide, and it's still popular. We'll just kind of see how it pans out with the AI capabilities, because it can be kind of more, it's less expensive, obviously. We're talking maybe 2,600 to 3,600 if you're doing staging for 3 months versus $60, $40. I've seen even $10, $15 a photo. So it depends on what your budget is there. Any other questions there? I just wanted to find out how much more. Do you want me to talk a little bit more? How much time we have?
Sure, it's an arbitrary limit, but we try to keep it to about an hour. It's
Okay,
1:35
yeah,
now. So that
no
still
problem.
gives us a good 10 or even 15 minutes,
Yeah,
and
okay,
allow
great.
10 or 15 minutes at the end for any Q&A.
Perfect. Perfect. I love that. So feel free. I can't go through all of here what we have, but again, my CE classes are up there. We have our photo gallery that I'll show you our different packages there, but also you have access to before and afters. I'd love to have you guys, if you're trying to convince a seller to stage, you can show them our before and afters. These are sliders. Before photo, Mr. Seller, here's what the after looks like once it's staged and shot professionally. I know you're living in the home, Mr. Seller, but I really think that moving out might be a good idea. The furnishings may not be up to what you would like to see in the home. Let's have it staged. And so these are great before and afters that you're more than welcome to have. They're on our app as well as on our website that are so easy to pull up on the cell phone. And the reason why I mentioned pulling it up on our cell is because we get more activity from the cell phone and quoting from from cell phones than we do the actual being on a computer, or maybe people are on their laptop. We have made our website very user-friendly on a cell phone. Even our contracts can be signed because we utilize the jot form tools. If somebody's out of the country or they don't have access to a laptop, they don't need to drive home to get onto their computer. They can actually fill out all of our contract information and sign right there on their phone, which is great. Makes it super easy for you, and we can keep things kind of moving along. Do you have a pay at close option for staging? So there was companies that were offering these pay at close options for staging, and we tried one of them out and it just didn't work for us. And so literally since day one, when I started the business, we always do pay it up front. And we take all major credit cards. Most of the stagers are that way. If it's somebody who doesn't do that and they do a pay at close, then you must be working with a brand new stager and maybe somebody who's very small that is willing to take that risk, so to speak. It's a little too risky for small businesses, I think, to do a pay at close. Now, there are some of the brokerage firms like Compass and maybe Coldwell Banker and some others that have started programs where they offer to pay, and then we or the seller gets reimbursed at closing or things of that nature. So we are a part of some of those programs as well. But most stagers do either a pay it up front or at least a half up front, whatever. We do pay it all up front. Get the pain over with there. And we do up to 2-month option and a 3-month option because there was some quick sales right now as we head into the holiday. 3-month option is kind of where everybody's going right now. And then again, as I mentioned, when we get close to December 1st, sometimes we start to offer our 2 free weeks of staging or a month free to ride people through the holiday. The app is, it's not going to be on your iPhone apps or anything. It's really, if you go to our website, it's going to be that green button on the bottom there that says home staging app on our website, which is the novacancy-atl.com. Click that green button there, and that's the home staging app there. And it'll just download a little icon on there, and then it's like a mini version. It's really almost like a mini version of our website on there. And we just updated it with some new fall staging tips, as well as our events and CE classes that are coming up. But it does have paint colors on there and a whole bunch of other information. Benefits of staging is on there. The stats is on there as well. So quickly on the paint colors, I'm a big Sherwin-Williams fan. Here in Atlanta, I am very good friends with the designer account executive and with some of their corporate people there at Sherwin-Williams. Believe it or not, Sherwin-Williams should have announced their paint color of the year this month. Uh-oh, what happened? Well, I don't know, but Sherwin-Williams decided to change their paint color. They might be actually doing something new that nobody else has done before, and I don't want to reveal too much information. But the paint colors of the year will be coming out soon. It's been delayed now. Interestingly enough, that has never happened before in the paint industry. Usually Pantone, Benjamin Moore, and Sherwin-Williams will come out with their paint colors August, September, October. Now it seems to be middle of October is when we'll find out there's been a change of plans. That has thrown everybody off at the corporate offices here in Atlanta. They're like, wait a minute, what? And threw me off too. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? And so they're going to do something very unusual. And I'm just going to leave it at that for you guys to think of. I will say that the actual paint color of the year is not necessarily a color. It was nothing bright or eye-popping. It was very neutral. I don't know if you all know this, but the fashion industry is where all this stuff happens, and then it comes into the design. So right here, basically, I'm going over the Sherwin-Williams paint colors that we recommend for staging. Pure white, alabaster, snowbound, natural linen, accessible beige, perfect gray, agreeable gray, and French gray, and mindful gray are the colors we recommend. Does anybody here, I know there's a few of you, and know what the #1 paint color is right now, actually, as far as a neutral? Can anybody guess? Anybody in the chat box?
I'll take a stab.
Sure.
It seems like we've been on a gray trend for a number of years. You mentioned agreeable gray, which was recommended to me several years ago. So I don't know if we've moved on from the grays as the neutral.
Yeah, grays are kind of the thing of the past right now. We have agreeable gray will still kind of hang out there, but yes, so Monica obviously nailed it right there. It's definitely alabaster. It's a warm white tone. Now, I am seeing some trends, and we're always a little bit behind here in Atlanta, but going toward the beige tones. So, you know, beiges and grays, these colors right here, accessible beige, perfect grays, natural linen. It's possible we may go toward that direction. These are mostly all warm colors. Even if you're a Benjamin Moore fan, Benjamin Moore picked out these paint colors Now, of course, on your screen, it looks a lot different than in person. So don't go by what you see. This is red RGB that you're seeing on your screen, but Swiss
Forgive me,
coffee.
Christina, are you sharing your screen?
Oh, did it go away?
Yeah, yeah, if you would share your screen.
Yep. I think I'm sharing.
There we go. Now you're back.
Oh,
Thank you.
sorry. Did it go away? That's weird. Okay. Sorry. Did they see the Sherwin-Williams or was that not on there?
I don't think it was on there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so there's the Sherwin-Williams paint colors, the pure white alabaster snowbound. That paint chart is also on the app. You can download as a JPEG or PDF, not sure which one. You can also download it here and print it out. The Benjamin Moore, still sharing, right? Yeah, sure, screen share, sorry. I might accidentally click stop share by accident. Here's the Benjamin Moore paint color chart. White Dove is also very popular. Kitchen cabinetry, people use that color. Edgecombe Gray, Balboa, Nimbus. And these are all the neutral paint colors that Benjamin Moore recommends. So what I want to do, still here screen sharing.
I couldn't wait with all the drama about the paint color of the year, so I had Googled, and you have yet to mention the one that came up in my Google search.
Well, Behr came out with their paint color of the year.
I think this was Pantone, and it might have been
Well, it
last
for
year.
2025 or 2024.
It might have been 2024. This might
Yeah, it
not
might
be
be
new news.
2024 because the 2025 is not quite out yet. Um, Still sharing the screen here, right? Does everybody still see?
Yes,
Yeah,
the
okay.
2024 paint trends.
Yeah, great. So here I've got some of the paint colors of the year, not all of them. I've really focused on the main ones. But Behr was the first, the big one to kind of come out. Now Valspar and all these other little ones, they've come out with these muted tones. I don't know if you guys have noticed. And then Burgundy, this burgundy-ish red color rumor, Behr is wanting to make a statement, which is so interesting because the last 2 years they did white, and then this year it was a black cracked pepper is what they called it. And now they're going to color. Whereas I think what you're going to see is everybody going back to muted tones, more softer tones. So this is kind of interesting. This kind of earthy tones is what I basically am going for here. This deep ruby red adds warmth, rich allure to any space. So we're going toward these like warm tones. And I wanted to make the end part here a little bit more fun for you guys, just to see kind of what's trending out there. Because if you guys want to learn more about the staging and more information, definitely follow, and I can get you on my email list and talk about it more in my CE classes so you can get credit, and paint class that I teach as well. I do have some coming up in the next couple months. And so as these paint colors of the year come out, my presentation is going to keep changing. Right now, it seems everybody's going toward these kind of warm, jewel, earthy kind of tones. At the Emmy Awards, most of the women were dressed in metals and silver and gold and tan and pearls, and so kind of muted tones, which I thought was kind of interesting. You know, every once in a while somebody had a red dress or a pop of color on, but most of the really highfalutin celebrities, I don't know, A-list celebrities, they were all wearing kind of more muted tones. Now that paint color you might have seen for 2024 with Pantone was a peachy fuzz, kind of warm color again. Gentle peach shade, reminder to kind of slow down. This year was more about biophilic, which is kind of more finding ourselves, caring for ourselves now. We've got through COVID. We're trying to kind of get back to some normalization, but focusing on ourselves and, you know, transforming these flex spaces into yoga rooms and Zen room and garden room and maybe a reading nook. We're starting to see also the dining rooms going away. You know, what's happening with these spaces? Everybody's hanging out back in the kitchen islands are getting bigger and bigger. And so compassion, cozy sensibility is what we're seeing, brings people together, enriches the soul. Benjamin Moore did a blue, so we're not going to see any blues next 2025. So that's done. Greens, I don't know about greens. We've seen everybody using green here in Atlanta, but green was kind of a color 2 years ago as the colors of the year. So it's kind of like sometimes in Atlanta, we're a little bit delayed on the trends. We're a little bit behind. Um, but this is kind of fun. I'm not going to go into the video here because it's a little long, but this blue Nova color, balanced depth and tree, classic appeal, reassurance. It's kind of like a navy, deep richness of color, reminiscent of outer space. These kind of pops of color, pastel-y kind of trends were very popular this year. The sage greens we're seeing in kitchen islands and things like that. Sherwin-Williams also did a bluish, it was more like a blue gray. If you see it actually in person than on the screen, it does look more gray to most people. You can use it in the bathrooms, of course, is most popular, bedrooms as well. Now, I wanted to talk quickly about design trends. What are we seeing in 2024, 2025? Because they talked a little bit about this on the apartment therapy webinar yesterday too. To just be careful with these trends. You know, you don't have to follow them all, maybe in decorating, but when it comes to staging, you know, we are doing more earthy tones. We are doing more greenery. We're doing a little bit more throws and skins and furs. You're going to see a little bit of that as we head into the winter time. But everybody's still focusing on the comfort, emotional well-being. Eco-friendly is big. Personalized spaces in a more tech-friendly way. Everything's becoming very tech. You know, take a ChatGPT AI course and you'll be like, what in the world? I can't believe I can do XYZ on this. I took a few and it was so much fun to learn for marketing purposes. Dining rooms are almost like extinct, as I mentioned. Living spaces are having multiple purposes. Wellness room speaks positive vibes. Goodbye to ordinary. Here comes the extraordinary and personalized aesthetic. We're still seeing white on the walls, simple, clean, crisp. Talked about this when I was on Fox. Good Day Atlanta, how it's just keep it simple, very simple and clean. The kitchen island, as I mentioned, is getting bigger. It's where kind of the new dining room is. Some of these flippers aren't even doing dining areas anymore. They're just doing a kitchen island and making multiple living spaces and nooks and reading areas. It's kind of the new hangout. And then, of course, going outside as well. Exterior spaces. Everybody was hanging out outside during COVID. They couldn't do much, be around a lot of people. So they were outside entertaining more and maybe just having a sip of coffee and hanging out outside. So now these outdoor spaces are becoming more popular and all these new furnishings and technology and appliances are now becoming more and more advanced to have more functionality in the outdoors and exterior spaces. Who doesn't want an at-home retreat with a sensory garden, lounging area, maybe cornhole, play some cornhole, lounging areas, kitchen, have a bar, TV, some furniture, and make it your own little vacation at home type space. So we're going to, I think, see that continue on into 2025. It's just going to keep getting more advanced and more fun. Mixed metals, we saw a lot of that, like I said, even in the fashion industry at the Emmys this week. Everybody's kind of mixing things up, warm, cool metal tones. That might be moving out. We might go back toward that brushed silver and the metals again, and gold might go out and the brass might go out. So sometimes it always goes out and then it'll come back in a little later. Maximalism, personality, we're seeing a lot of it. You're seeing tons of mural paintings all over buildings, sidewalks, and things like that. We're seeing a lot of this personality coming out, maximalism everywhere. If you want it, you can make it happen. Designers and artists are really pushing the decorative accents. People are on Etsy selling all kinds of art, and even on Instagram. All those artists are really having their heyday right now. Spaces and even buildings outside are looking like works of art. They're making it entertaining and interesting. And so eco tech friendly, we're going to see more and more of this. I saw actually the last couple of houses we staged, they all have this new refrigerator that has the technology and a calendar and everything on it. You can make your own shopping list on it and everything. These smart homes, you're seeing more and more of those as well, all over Atlanta and the flips, AI powered home assistants, wave of the future. All this kind of eco tech friendly pieces are kind of coexisting together. So in the end, it's no longer about looking pristine. It's more cozy, catering aesthetic, emotional needs. That's why we're seeing little bar carts or, a couple of water bottles and, some teacups out and place settings out now on the dining tables and maybe some candle or, things that I didn't used to do 10 years ago. Now we're seeing more of it in our staging and trying to create those emotional connections. And it's the millennials that are doing this. They're really making us change how things are being presented. We're moving into this forward-thinking adventure of unconventional design trends. So who knows what we're going to see in 2025? Everybody is anxious to see how we're going to elevate the art, so to speak, of the home. And so staging is, again, that's why staging is just becoming more and more popular. The owners know about it, sellers know about it. They expect it in your listing presentations going forward. And so I want you all to take time and play around with the app, play around with the quote tool. You can put test in there. Utilize our website as an informational resource for your next listing presentation. Please do. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to see you guys at CE class, and I definitely think you'll love our webinar. We're going to talk about some holiday design trends and things of that nature too. Make it a lot of fun. Paint class is a lot of fun. I have lots of goodies and treats, and I hand out all kinds of stuff. We have lunch. You get 3 hours of CE credit. And if you got to get it before the end of the year, definitely sign up. All my classes and events are all through the end of the year are now all up on Eventbrite. Right now. Given more people working from home now more than ever, is the trend now to create more flex rooms, office spaces? Yes, it is. We're still staging offices. Even in condos, the second bedroom is an office space. Flex spaces are being utilized. We're doing man cave down in the basement kind of thing to family, kids room, media room, desk and game table and giving that impression. I'm not saying I'm bringing in game tables and things like that, but we're giving the impression of this is a hangout area. And even in basements, we're definitely staging more rooms in the home, it seems, this year than ever. And it's depleting my furniture inventory. I'm going through a lot of furniture. We own a lot, but we've been staging more and more. And that's okay. It's all about, that presentation and trying to capture the buyer attention and creating that connection to get them to buy right now. And especially with the builders and the flipper and investors. Again, it's not going to hurt you. Every little bit helps is what I always recommend. Keep it simple and just be careful with the trends, but consult with a home staging company like us or any consultant design, not necessarily designers, but designer and mostly stagers are really going to transform that home into its most marketable condition. So help furnish midterm rentals. There are some staging companies out there, and I do have some friends that do cater to the short-term, midterm, long-term, and in the rental. Now, I have staged long-term rental properties because they're not furnished. But anything short-term, midterm, and that needs some furniture and it's going to stay there and be used, there is some staging companies that do specialize in that, and I'd be happy to recommend that to you. Now, again, I had my information up here at the top. Even my email address is in there. I'm going to reiterate it again in the chat box there. If you want to email me at kmbell@novacancy-atl.com if you have any other questions or need any assistance with some staging, furniture, design. I get asked all kinds of questions about all kinds of things. And so that's why I have a lot of resources and friends in the business that can help you guys out. Other than that, thank you all very much. Again, my information is in the chat box. I hope you guys will follow me. I hope that I'll see you maybe in a CE class. And this just gives you a little bit of a taste of the value and the benefits of staging your listings and think about it in the near future.
That's terrific, Krisztina. Thanks for joining us today and being our guest today on our program. And I want to thank all of our attendees for joining us, giving us your time to visit with us today. We will polish up the video, save it to the YouTube channel, link to it in our website, and we'll send everyone an email when it's ready. That'll give you the opportunity to go back and review any points that you've missed and to share the video with others that it might be of value to them that you can share with as well. So thanks again for joining us today. And on behalf of all of us at Schaeferts and Dean, we look forward to helping you with your next closing. On behalf of Krisztina Bell with No Vacancy ATL, you have her contact information. She's a wealth of information and resources, and please feel free to reach out to her when she can assist you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yay. Thank you, Niraj. See you later, Monica.
Thanks, Krisztina. Very nice to have met you.
Oh, nice to meet you guys too. Good luck for the rest of the year. My gosh, I can't believe it's the end.
Yeah, we are in the home stretch, almost
And
the
the home
fourth
stretch,
quarter.
exactly. That's the type, that's what I like to hear, the home stretch. Yes. But I
All right.
appreciate you all having me, and I'd love to come back next year, talk about any other topics, paint or design or home staging again. Feel free. I would enjoy it, or in person or whatever. Just let me know. I appreciate it once again.
That'd be lovely. We appreciate it. Take care and have a great day.